sleep. So we found this video.
Yeah, this time we're responding to rationality rules. Rationality rules is a big deal in the atheist circuit. He's one of the bigger deals in the atheist circuit, and I'm gonna bet he likely, did a lot of damage to get there. I'm not even gonna get into that, but let's say this dude is to be granted a certain degree of respect, and he's presents himself as a kind of, I'd say, like a philosophical sort, pretty highly.
Yeah, they can look it up too.
Philosophical person.
He's talking about Greta Thunberg.
He's talking
so we're
about
back
Greta Thunberg.
on
back on the case here.
The subject of Greta.
We are intending to wrap this up with the next video, so this will be our last addressed target asset, although I'm not sure I consider him to be a target asset. I'm not really going to put much effort into working with this guy. He has too many tells, and I don't know, it might not be worth the effort, but, people who we do present our attention to, there's a reason for that, and because we see something in your character that is affording our attention, worth investing our time in.
So this starts out with a bunch of different clips.
Yeah, this has a bunch of little clips
reactions to when Greta Thunberg's speech
initial reaction to Greta.
Yeah.
These are immediately
just everyone
following,
flipping out and going hysterical, basically. And I think this right here is Samantha B from
she's happy
Comedy
with
Central.
it. She could be joking, but she's joking in a good way.
No, it's Comedy Central.
She could be genuine about how she's feeling about this, but in a mocking, joking kind of manner. But whatever the case, there's somebody else here. I don't know who this guy is, but he's gonna pop up and talk to you for a second, give his opinion on Greta Thunberg and her the values she's presenting.
Backlash from misogynists because preserving a livable planet has somehow become a threat to the entitlements of masculine primacy.
Greta Thunberg is not about the environment. She's about aiding and abetting left-wing neo-Marxists and their bid to dominate the Western political order.
This last week,
all right, so
that's quite a mouthful.
This is not.
Seriously.
Like, it's not even going to address me.
There's something wrong with your fingers.
It's disappointed in me, and it doesn't...
Every time he touches it. It's like there is no... You're a fucking robot, aren't you? You have no body heat.
Could have been replaced.
And skin.
Which I usually have more body heat than most people, right?
I'm sitting here next to a Cylon, you guys, and I just realized it.
I wish I were a sexy Cylon.
I'm gonna get you a red dress with the cleavage coming out.
Beautiful red dress with a slit on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, if you, by any chance, happen to share the same sort of insights or opinionated ideals as this particular person who just spoke, chances are you are fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that dude was. It might actually be right here in the description.
What the fuck was...
That was quite a mouthful.
Neo-Marxist? What the fuck... what an asshole. Greta Thunberg, firstly, is not about anything. She's not a fucking adventure book.
There's a lot of...
she's a person, man.
So basically, what's the rationality rules linked to literally every single clip that he used in this video, which is cool. I like that. And he tracked down all this crap, and there's so many that I can't even pin down that last dude that's sitting in the office.
Okay, yeah, to his credit, Rationality Rules is a magnificent YouTuber. He's very intelligible. He's just very well spoken. Oh, he's got that odd accent, that British accent where he
It's not odd, it's just an accent.
Fucking V's sound like F's, and it's really weird.
There is millions of people that talk like that in the world. So, I can't pin down which guy that was. That
for
said
anybody
that.
who didn't check, hasn't been up to date or missed it or doesn't remember, Rationality Rules is in fact the dude who got into this shit with the Essence of Thought dude and started that whole debacle that led up to Rachel Oates.
It says here that there's a podcast.
Breaking down, essentially.
He has a podcast about that whole. Oh, he does a podcast with her?
With
Rachel Oates?
yeah, well, they work together in some fashion.
That's cool. Well, there's a link here too. It looks like a podcast that they did together, but I will find the clip that
I think I saw that
and
one.
link to it.
Yeah, we'll try to find that clip, or we'll just give you a link to this video. That's he's already provided you the other link. So I mean, if you want to investigate further, then you have the fucking means to do it, don't you?
Anyway, so basically, the beginning of his video by showing all these clips is demonstrating how people are just going off the wall and hysterically, butting heads over their opinion about why Greta said what she did and what her true purpose was to apparently dominate the Western. What, I can't even remember what he said. It was so crazy.
Something like what your brother would say. Fucking
The
socialists are
taking over the
attacking
world.
Western culture.
Yeah. So that's, way to be paranoid, bro. Whoever you are.
It's these ridiculous political infatuations that are really getting everyone into so fucking much trouble here. It's like, listen, a girl pops up, she says that she's pissed off because we fucked up her planet. She has every fucking right to be. I'm pissed off too.
Well, that's another thing too, is that I don't see how that subject in and of itself, like just basic, plainly on its face, should we do more to protect the environment? Flat out, how is that a political idea one way or another? Like, economically, if we took care of the environment and treated our resources with respect and made sure that things stuck around longer and were healthy and have a healthy environment and healthy water, I feel like that would benefit everybody, even Republicans and conservatives, as much as it would make happy the other side. So I don't see why you would just initially jump onto that's a bad thing. Fuck that. It's weird. I don't get it.
Desperately seeking out, if not blatantly lying about, what particular reason there may be that she's like a shill or she's being puppeted.
Yeah.
Paraded about.
Oh, that's funny.
The girl is upset.
Well, she also, I think people haven't really taken in, well, maybe they have, I don't know. The people that I've heard speak about it, I don't think realize that she has the disabilities. And so when it sounds like, obviously it's a very passionate speech. If you watched it, it definitely tugs on the heartstrings a little bit. But I think a lot of the inflection and what people see as this dramatic thing. I think part of that was just the way that she speaks and her, her speech, her patterns, I think it said somewhere that she had selective mutism. So, obviously speaking isn't one of her, things that she's a fucking expert at, obviously.
She did a TED Talk speaking about that particularly, and as it happens, what they're meaning to say by selective mutism is that
I don't know what that means.
She doesn't talk about things that she isn't passionate about or she doesn't feel are important, but she is perfectly equipped to speak at length about things that she does feel are she's passionate about.
All right,
feel are
so
important.
hence the speech. That makes perfect sense. But I don't know. I think people took part of that inflection for she's just trying to make everybody feel bad and she just wants everyone to this kind of evil intention behind it, when really I think part of it was that she is passionate about the subject, but also her inflection, and her speech patterns are a little bit different than what we're normally used to seeing.
Yeah, because they're genuine.
In the media.
I mean, something I'm presuming they're genuine. It seems genuine. I kind of am arguing with myself about that to some extent. We'll get to that when we address her and her actual. We'll do the TED Talk, the interview, and the speech in one sitting, and just wrap it all up. Because, I mean, I'm really tired of it. Really, I'm failing to stand how people are just. This is speaking directly to the state of our psychological environment and this crisis that is in fact transpiring, where people are just going to automatically assume that, like, if you seem as though you're being genuine, it must be because you're fucking lying or you're being manipulated by somebody.
Yeah.
Like this, it's an impossible position that we're in, insurmountable. This ridiculous relationship that we've developed with life itself, where we just don't even fucking, if it seems to be, something that's genuinely working to affect a positive result, then it must be evil. Let's ignore it. Let's reject it. Let's find reasons to combat it.
I think it comes down to communication. It's not effective the way that people communicate nowadays, and it could be. I don't know what your opinion on that is, but with the internet and social media, do you think that could be affecting the efficacy of our communication as a whole over time?
It's playing an enormous role.
I think it does play a little bit of a role,
because it's affecting, like we were speaking, and being screened out. People being screened out. It's presenting this separation factor. Like you are. Like we were talking about the kids who, at early ages, if social media and such is introduced at an early age,
the whole process of learning how to socialize is completely different than it normally would be.
There are a whole slew of negative consequences for that I don't recall at the moment, but it stunts your development insofar as regards your social capacity.
Which I guess you could say that that's true about plenty of other things, and it's not the end of the world or whatever, but it is a factor, and it influences, I think, a great deal of people, a lot of people.
Right, the best part is that all of the things that stunt our development are that what is heavily promoted by society, and all of the things that in fact enormously increase our capacity and free up these tangles in our psychological webbing are the things that we outlaw deliberately. Like, it's just everybody sees every fucking thing backwards. And I mean, I know that I've spoken of this repeatedly, that we are observing time in reverse. Our comprehension is inverted, but it's just like, it's willful at this point. It's like, how does nobody fucking see this happening?
Well, like I was saying earlier, you can't necessarily put all the blame on like a young person who's been taught to communicate in such a misrepresented way. You can't really blame that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think it's a curiosity too to see somebody, like, even if it's just like a foreign concept, like perhaps this was the way she was raised, or maybe her village was
like. I heard last week I was listening to a podcast where the guy was talking about how one of those dudes, the pussification of America, and how our country is being ruined because everybody's a big wuss. Like, it was, it's such a fucking tired argument, but I can see where it comes from. And so, those people always bring up, what's the first thing they bring up? The fucking participation trophies, right? Like, that's always their go-to for everybody's such wussies and crybabies. that I can't believe it, you know, you get the trophies. And it occurred to me, like, a little first grade kid on a soccer field, like, didn't go buy himself a trophy. Like,
yeah,
the parents would be the one who initiated that kind of, I don't know, that kind of teaching, that behavior of, I can't possibly lose, I can't possibly fail, because that's unfair, and everything has to be super fair.
Right, and it's just...
And I get that that's not appropriate. It's definitely not okay to go throughout your entire adult life thinking that you're never going to be, you know, you're going to accomplish everything perfectly, and there's never going to be a challenge there or whatever. And I guess I can see why the participation trophies kind of
defeat the fucking purpose.
But they
sabotage
personify and they're held up. The whole trophy thing is like they've symbolized that in many other areas. That's what people go to when they're talking about that. And I just thought it was so funny that, like, these, you know, people complain about millennials and the what's the generation Y, whatever the one is, younger kids now. And I don't know. I had to chuckle to myself because I couldn't handle it. It was the funniest thing.